Hello from the OCD and Related Disorders program at Mass General Hospital. My name is Sabine Wilhelm.
I'm Angela Fang. We're here to share some exciting work from our lab as part of the ABCT Neuroscience Seeing Inside the Box video series. The purpose of these video series is to share some examples of how neuroscience-based research translates to the clinic and provides patients and clinicians with information and tools that they can use now.
At ABCT, we are committed to improving human suffering using evidence-based principles. And one of the biggest challenges we have been facing is that the treatments we currently have are far from perfect. They take a long time, and many times our patients drop out, or they don't improve, or they relapse. And when there are different treatments to choose from, we often don't know what works for whom. So we need more knowledge about the mechanisms of treatment in order to make them shorter and more potent and also more personalized.
So using neuroscience in psychoeducation is actually one clear way to help our patients. They can learn about how adaptable the brain is, which not only helps externalize their illness, but it's also consistent with our basic message in behavior therapy, that their maladaptive ways of coping with symptoms were learned over time and so that they can be unlearned with treatment.
And we are currently conducting a few projects in our lab that reflect true clinical translations from basic science. One of the projects that's currently underway is focused on examining the neural mechanisms of extinction learning in OCD. And that's because extinction learning is believed to be one of the really important mechanisms underlying exposure therapy. In the past, we've looked at D-cycloserine augmentation of behavior therapy in both OCD as well as body dysmorphic disorder. And D-cycloserine is actually an antibiotic that was used to treat tuberculosis in the past, but it's also a partial agonist of the NMDA receptor, which is involved in extinction learning. And although the jury is still out with regard to if and when D-cycloserine actually might be useful, these studies are really exciting, and they're only possible due to the latest advances in basic science.
Right. And we're also investigating the role of oxytocin in the development and maintenance of BDD. So for example, in one experiment, we found that an acute intranasal sniff of oxytocin did not improve emotion recognition as we expected. It actually led to worsened internal attributions about emotional facial expressions in other referent rather than self-referent contexts, which is potentially harmful actually because people with BDD already hold negative beliefs about others.
That's right. And interestingly, this effect was strongly associated with their degree of delusionality. So it appears that the effect of oxytocin might be particularly disadvantageous for people with worse insight. And although more work is needed to understand how oxytocin actually led to this effect, it suggests that there may be some individuals who do benefit from oxytocin, and there might be important moderators of this effect.
In a related study, we also measured endogenous fasting levels of oxytocin in people with BDD compared to healthy controls. Little is known about the neuroendocrine contributions to BDD, but given the social impairments we see in these patients and the role of oxytocin in mediating socio-emotional processes, we expect there to be dysfunctional oxytocin regulation in BDD.
And finding a biomarker of BDD could have many important clinical applications, including assistance with diagnostic assessment, an ability to track illness course and outcome during treatment, and revealing potential important targets for intervention.
Finally, we're also looking at neural predictors of treatment response to CBT for people with social anxiety disorder and body dysmorphic disorder. Although this project is still underway, the end goal of this work is to use the brain correlates of maladaptive self-focused attention to identify successful candidates for CBT at the outset of treatment, to refine our referral process, and save time and money on ineffective treatments.
That's right. So, we hope we have highlighted a few ways in which multidisciplinary collaborations between clinical psychologists and neuroscientists can add to our understanding of disorder-specific mechanisms as well as mechanisms underlying CBT.
We hope you've enjoyed our Seeing Inside the Box video series and hope you enjoy the conference.
Thank you.